Game Center Update.
This Game Center Update is brought to you by BetUS Sportsbook, a casino celebrating 30 years by offering the industry's biggest 125% sign-up bonus. Get started over at BetUS.com. Corey Curtis joined Robbie and Rexrow this morning for his weekly visit and discussed the Titans' 27-3 victory over the Cincinnati Bengals. What was one of Corey's biggest takeaways from the game?
You know, the fact that Henry was able to get to the line of scrimmage without being hit was great, and that they were able to, as they say, stay on track, but just, get that line moving forward.
And Nashville SC has officially clinched a playoff spot with DC United's 2-2 draw over in Vancouver. And SC is now the fourth expansion team in MLS history to make the playoffs in each of their first 4 seasons. And tonight at 6 p.m., catch the MTSU Coaches Show over on 94.9 The Fan and 93.3 Classic Hits for the latest on the Blue Raiders and what's coming up this week. You're listening to 102.5 and 106.3 The Game.
Live from the Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical Studios. WPRT FM Pegram, WPUZ HD2 Laverne. Nashville's exclusive home for the Nashville Predators. 102.5 and 106.3.
79-52 Vanderbilt.
And I think he's got a coach
shot by Cheryl.
You're going to see more moves. The Game.
A Cromwell Media Station.
Let me talk to you. Talking what's important to Nashville.
Sweet mother of God, what is the holdup?
This is the Chase and Big Joe Show.
Well, Lottie frickin' da!
With Chase McCabe and Big Joe Dubin.
Good, great, grand, wonderful.
We're here on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
And a good Monday, everybody. Welcome in. Chase and Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. He's Big Joe Dubin. I'm Chase McCabe. Dr. Crane, Nick Frazier behind the glass. Hope you're having a great start to your day, to your week. Lots to get into from the sports weekend, including a huge 27-3 Titans win yesterday at Nissan Stadium, an absolute dominance of the Cincinnati Bengals. JoJo, what's up?
What's going on, man? It's we were both at the game yesterday. It was a gazillion degrees in the sun, but it was if you're a Titans fan, it was a fun day because they just punished Joe Burrow. He didn't even look.
No, he
20%. I don't know why he was out there. He gave them no chance to win.
No. I do not understand why. Like, he's not helping your team, he's hurting your team. So if you're Zach Taylor, just let him get healthy. And,
yeah, right.
Because at this point now you're, 1-3?
You're 1-3.
Yeah, I would just sit him. But, I don't want to make this about, they won the game because Joe Burrow was, half himself or whatever. I mean, it was –
that's a big part of it.
It's a huge part of it. But I got to give credit where credit is due. Tim Kelly called the best game of his Titans tenure, I think. And, outside of that interception, which basically was a punt, I thought Ryan Tannehill played a really nice game. I really liked what I saw out of the offense yesterday. The offensive line gave him time.
It's almost like Art Smith called the game. I mean, it was that going back a couple of years ago where it was misdirection. It was fun. I mean, I was fooled on the when Jeff Simmons came in the game. I was fooled. And when he rolled out, I thought for sure Derek was going to pitch to him. I had no idea there was a tight end standing wide open in the end zone.
Here's what I loved about that play. That they showed the look, and Jeff's out there. Cincinnati calls a timeout, and you're like, man, they just burnt that. They're, now they'll go back and call another play. They went back to it. They were like, nah, we're going to throw this at you. You got a chance to look at it. Let's see if you know what's coming. And I would love to know if there were different – tentacles to that play. Like, could Derek have thrown to Tannehill? Could Derek have pitched off to Jeffrey Simmons? He obviously could have kept it himself if he wanted to.
Yeah.
So I think there were a lot of different options there. It was an awesome play call.
It was perfect.
And sure, that's going to be one of those, if it doesn't work, we're going to go, that was a terrible play call. But I like that they stuck with it.
Sure.
And ultimately it paid off.
Well, it's funny because if you show the end zone camera, ground level, the Bengals just tee off after Henry.
Yeah.
And you see the tight ends at Wiley just kind of
Wiley's just wide open.
To about 7 yards deep in the end zone, stands there, and Henry pops him. So Derrick Henry now is 7 of 8 for 4 touchdown passes as a quarterback.
Yeah.
Not bad.
So he has. So it's kind of like Derrick Henry with touchdown passes is similar to Mike Vrabel with touchdown catches.
Was he 10 for 10?
Yeah,
Something
I
like
think
that.
he was 10
Yeah.
for 10, yeah.
Yeah. So fantastic win. Titans continue their Jekyll and Hyde. You know, Tannehill to me is one of the best play fake quarterbacks in the National Football League. I mean, I was on top. I mean, for our seats in section 200, I mean, you see every play develop.
Yeah.
He fooled me half the time.
Well,
it was amazing.
I was in the end zone where they did the jump pass. So, like, to watch that whole thing, I mean, I had a great view of it.
Nice.
You know, and the Derrick Henry 29-yard touchdown run. It was good to see Derrick be Derrick again. Past Earl Campbell on the team's all-time rushing list.
They were doing that. He should not have been in the game that late.
No, I know.
And they were doing that to get the record home. And Mike Vrabel will deny that all day long.
No, but you know what, though?
You don't need him in the game at 27-3 when the Bengals had no chance of getting past the 50-yard line.
Okay. I see what you're saying. And not necessarily for the record, but like I looked at his stats at one point when the game was well in, control.
Right.
And he was at like 95 yards. I'm like, okay, they're going to get him over 100.
What's
I didn't realize at the time that he was that close to Earl Campbell. But yeah, no, more important is not getting him hurt.
Yeah.
But at the same time, if he needed a little boost, then give him the boost.
Well, I see what you're saying. I disagree. He does not need to be in the game. You're up 27-3 I was like, why is he in the game? Why is he running the football? Because you could twist an ankle. I mean, you can get hurt anytime, but especially when there's no reason. Then he got it, and they're like, "Hey, broke Earl Campbell, number 2," and I was like, "Oh, here we go."
There it is.
Yeah. So I understand what you're saying, but I also see that I don't think he needed to be in the game in the fourth quarter.
Sure. Like I said, I love the play calling from Tim Kelly. I thought they were going to get the big play right off the bat, or not right off the bat, but early in the game when Henry lateraled to Tannehill, and then he threw a bomb to DeAndre Hopkins. I feel like he may have lost it in the sun. I mean, it was fingertips. I thought he had that. I thought he had it.
That was a perfect pass from Ryan Tannehill.
Oh, it was a dime.
And that ball dropped. And I was a dumb tweet. I said, you pay me $12 million, I could drop passes in the end zone. So I'm sorry. Because then he, later in the game, he
made a huge play.
He did this stutter, start, and stop, and just blew by the DB for the Bengals, and he had a good 3 to 4 yards on him. A good pass by Tannehill again, and he gets time to throw, and the misdirection goes. They're tough to stop. They were other than Tannehill made a really bad interception late in the game.
Oh yeah, that was not good.
The triple coverage, and they had Colton Dow was intended receiver, the young man from Wilson Central was in the game playing. I was hoping he'd catch the ball, but you can't throw in triple coverage like that. But overall, I mean, if we're going to nitpick like that, it's still a big win for them. Now they're 2-2. Now the Browns game is forgotten.
Yep, and the Browns without Deshaun Watson yesterday, so they didn't have him. But okay, with DeAndre Hopkins, 4 games, he had 65 yards, 40 yards, 48 yards, 63 yards. Does not have a touchdown yet in his Titans career, but overall with 216 yards receiving on 18 receptions, you feel like they're getting what they should out of him at this point?
Yes, especially because the Browns game was terrible.
Yep.
The Saints game, Tannehill was terrible, but tried to get the ball to him. So that was really bad on Tannehill's part. But, yeah, I think so far so good. Imagine not having him.
Yeah. Oh, I mean.
So put it that way.
Right. I think he's made a difference.
Yeah, absolutely yes.
I think he's made a big difference. And, Nick Westbrook-Akine, I thought, stepped up yesterday. He's had a good season to this point. Chris Moore. Obviously you want Treylon Burks to be out there. But when Treylon Burks has been out there, he's made some pretty key drops.
Right.
And so, now A.J. Brown had those, in his time here. But you gotta make the catches. Like that's how you get in the game. And I think as this offense continues to develop and guys get healthier, if you get D-Hop and Treylon Burks and then continue to get some production from these other guys, you start getting them all in sync, then you're going to start to see what we all had hoped you would with this Titans offense.
Through 4 games in the National Football League, watching the Chiefs last night, I mean, and the 49ers are good, and the Eagles are good, and I get all that, but just watching Mahomes work his way down the field against them, I mean, could the Titans beat the Chiefs? Right now, if they play next week, could the Titans beat the Chiefs?
I don't know, honestly. I don't feel like the Chiefs are on all cylinders yet.
They looked good last night.
Yeah, but the Jets gave them a game.
Jets are bad.
You're right.
That's not a bad team.
The defense and Zach Wilson's getting better.
Yes, he is. Chris Collinsworth loves some Zach Wilson.
I know. What's funny is, like, I know a lot of people don't like Chris Collinsworth. I do. I think sometimes he'll get a little too obsessed with a player and, where just spread the love. But
yeah,
I thought he did a good job of kind of explaining, his conversations with the Jets and with what's the offensive coordinator's name? Hackett. With Nathaniel Hackett.
Buddy Hackett.
Yeah. With Nathaniel Hackett of how, he can you take 2 plays into the huddle, right? He told this story last night. He's like, you take 2 plays into the huddle. The difference with Rodgers and Wilson is Rodgers would take 2 plays in the huddle, which actually meant 8 because he could call different things at the line, whereas Zach Wilson is actually taking 2 plays into the huddle. And so that's been the adjustment that they've had to make. But Wilson is understanding the offense more. They're able to create some things around him. And so, he had 105.2 passer rating last night. So he's
not bad.
Obviously improving. But with the Titans, it's kind of the same thing. You do have a new play caller. You're putting in different things. The creativity I've been a fan of since the Saints game because I feel like he knows when to make those calls, whereas Todd Downing would be chasing the game so much, then he'd try and do these trickery things, and it just wouldn't work.
Right. Also, Tannehill's got to learn to get rid of that ball. I can't believe.
Yeah, he's always held on to it too long.
I can't believe he's now into his 11th year, or is it 12th year in the National Football League. He's still doing that. It's hard to fathom that he doesn't sense that pressure collapsing around him. And he just took those sacks. Had 3 sacks yesterday. And I was like, God, throw the ball away. And everybody screamed, throw the ball away. But, again, we're nitpicking. That's a huge win for that football team, a dominating win. Another 2-2, and now they go and face the Colts. They beat the Colts, head to London at 3-2. I think majority of Titans fans would have taken that.
100%.
4-1 probably, obviously, but 3-2, take that and go. And that's what they'll have.
100%. 615-737-1025. That's our phone and text line driven by WilsonCountyHyundai.com. Want to hear from you. What did you think about the Titans' win yesterday, the offense, the defense? Once again, this defense comes up with 3 sacks on a quarterback. That's about what they're averaging a game.
Right.
With that front 7. Jeffrey Simmons absolutely trucked Joe Burrow, chasing him down, which was pretty fun.
It was. Also, can we talk about the Kevin Byard dance in the end zone?
Yes.
Somebody explained that to me, and I'm still not sure. That they were not in sync, but it just cracked me up because he had like 19 guys out there.
NSYNC's working on an album.
Because he had like 19 guys out there in the end zone doing whatever they were doing. It just made me laugh.
615-737-1025. We want to hear from you. Chasing Big Joe. It's a Reaction Monday. Titans win 27-3 at home against the Bengals. It's Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
He knows Nashville sports.
I love Clark Lee. He is a brilliant dude.
And he's not scared to tell it like it is.
They were atrocious on defense a year ago.
He is Outkick's Chad Withrow.
We really don't care. You're here. You signed a grant of rights.
Withrow joins Stillman and Company every Friday at 5. Brought to you by BetUS Sportsbook and Casino.
I know they were doing that for him to be the third-string quarterback in year 1.
On 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Over the years, more men have started to seek help for hormonal deficiencies and imbalances. And Dr. Jeffrey Lodge and wife Daphne, along with their experienced staff, give men the treatment required to improve your quality of life, improve your immune system, energy level, cognitive function, and more. There's no better time to achieve a healthy lifestyle. What are you waiting for? Give Cool Springs MD a call today for an appointment at 615-486-3458 or visit our website at coolspringsmd.com.
Penalty Box Radio Live is back. Join Alex Doherty and Sean Smith every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. for a full hour of local hockey talk, full analysis of the Nashville Predators. Honest hockey talk like you've come to expect from the Penalty Box Radio brand over the years. Penalty Box Radio is back home on 102.5 The Game for the 2023-2024 hockey season. For more, check them out at penaltyboxradio.com.
This week's Nashville's best deal is 312 Pizza Company, serving the best pizza in town, as well as Chicago-style eats like Chicago dogs, Italian beef sandwiches, and more. It's also a great spot to grab a beer and watch your favorite team on the big screen. 312 Pizza Company, 371 Monroe Street in Germantown. Head to theGameNashville.com/deals and get half off a $30 gift card. It's 312 Pizza Company, while supplies last.
Looking for a fun way to win up to 25 times your money this football season? Test your skills on Prize Picks, the most exciting way to play daily fantasy sports. Just select 2 or more players, pick more or less on their projection for a wide variety of statistics, and place your entry. It's as easy as that. If you have the skills, you can turn $10 into $250 with just a few taps. Easy gameplay, quick withdrawals, and an enormous selection of players and stat options are what make Prize Picks the #1 daily fantasy sports app. Ready to test your skills? Join the Prize Picks community of more than 7 million football fans who have already signed up. Right now, Prize Picks will match your first deposit up to $100. Just visit prizepicks.com/primetime and use code PRIMETIME. That's code PRIMETIME at prizepicks.com/primetime for a first deposit match up to $100. Prize Picks, daily fantasy sports made easy. Must be present in certain states. Visit prizepicks.com for restrictions and details.
All the big plays.
And we are done. Vandy 24-21.
All the big stories.
I'm sure Vandy will be a much better team if Clark Lee is the coach.
All in one place. We are Nashville's best sports talk. 102.5 and 106.3.
What a stop by UC Sarah.
Then he wouldn't end up on my team.
Driving his way to victory lane.
I think that's the right strategy.
The Game and the Game Nashville app. Sports talk, the next generation. You're listening to the Chase and Big Joe Show.
Make it so.
On 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
With that, the play calling, it seemed like Tim Kelly was in a groove. How do you like the way he layered his calls and dialed the right thing?
I think all the credit goes to the players. It does. And I mean, we make all this up about play callers. I mean, give them a play, and they go execute it. It's up to the players. They did a great job. That's what I'm saying.
Mike Vrabel yesterday after the win, Titans 27-3 against the Cincinnati Bengals, giving all the credit to the players. And that's something he's been very consistent about during his tenure as the head coach here. You know, when things go wrong, it's on the coaches. When things go right, he gives the credit to the players, which makes him, you know, that's why so many people say he's such a player's coach. But I thought the play calling was excellent yesterday. Tim Kelly knew when to be basic. He knew when to be creative. Obviously, Ryan Tannehill had to conduct all of that, and ultimately it works, and they get the win. The defense made some plays, too. They were able to get to Joe Burrow, pressure Joe Burrow. Yes, Joe Burrow was not 100%, but, you know, you have to take whatever they throw at you each week, and they took advantage of that and were able to get that win. A text on our text line that I think is perfect for you, Joe. Being an analyst now, and having played the game, Justin in Greenbrier says, so for me, I think it comes down to the offensive line has played better at home because they aren't having to deal with the silent count. They played much better yesterday and did what they had to do to give Tannehill time and make holes for Henry. What do you think about that?
I think they were petrified of the Browns' front four. I think we've been talked all week about how great they are, and the Browns got a little momentum, and from then it went straight to hell. Then yesterday, the Bengals had that opening drive. They go down, they kick a field goal. I was like, man, it's going to be a long day for the Titans because the Bengals, they couldn't stop them there. Then you get a little confidence, and the more confidence, you get the crowd behind you, and you start feeling well and playing better, and it all factors into having a good game. And I think the offensive line had a great game yesterday. Big holes for Derrick Henry. A lot of time for Tannehill. I mean, he took those, needless, dumb sacks he took there, but I think that's a good point but I just think they had the time to, the confidence factor, the momentum, and mixing things up really show what this team could do, and they showed it yesterday, and it was just a fantastic game. And Tannehill was excellent, and give credit where credit's due.
I am curious, too, of, the NFL kind of gave the Titans a gift on Friday when they changed the gambling rules and their gambling policy. They obviously made it worse on players that gamble on the NFL, but a guy like Nicholas Petit-Frere that just kind of made a mistake and placed a college football bet or whatever it was while he was in the team facility, they reduced that suspension from 6 games to 4. So he is reinstated as of today.
Right.
And can be back.
He's like, come back.
So, thank you. So he can rejoin the team. So how does Mike Vrabel use him? Does he put him back in at right tackle? Because I would say that Chris Hubbard, who's been the right tackle, has actually been one of the better guys in that group. So,
Mother Hubbard.
So do you take him out? Do you try and move him to the left side? Do you put Petit Frere on the left side because Dillard has struggled at times? Hopefully Skoronski's back this week. So interesting moves that could be coming for the offensive line.
Well, this is a massive game on Sunday.
Huge game.
It's a division game. It's against the Colts. So I would keep it where it is right now. I mean, Petit Frere's he's probably in shape. He's not in football shape, and Derek Mason will tell you more about how there's a huge difference between the two of those things, obviously. And then Skoronski, I don't know. He comes back from appendectomy. I mean, that's just, I don't know the timetable for that. Some come back really soon. Some don't come back for a long time, but hopefully he's well. But I don't think you mess with it right now. I don't.
I think if Skoronski's ready, he's going back in because Radunz is not good. I mean, yesterday is what it is, but I mean, I think Skoronski's the best offensive lineman they have. So if he's
put
healthy,
him at left guard,
heck yeah,
all right, I could see that.
Heck yeah, or I mean, I guess you could put him at tackle, but I don't think they're going to do that. So
I could do that. Also, there's during the game yesterday, and if somebody's at the game, and saw this, they could text into us. Late in the fourth quarter, the Bengals had they called a timeout. They were going to punt. And the Bengals punt. They already had 11 guys on the field. And I don't know what they're going to do. And the Bengals punter walks on the field and grabs a football. And the Titans special teams coach goes absolutely ballistic, runs down and tells Vrabel what's going on. Both of them run back down the sideline and start screaming at the ref. And I
didn't see it.
I mean, they went crazy. Vrabel was hot. So my thing was there 12 men on the field? Shouldn't have been on the field then? I don't know what was going on because it was during a delay in the game.
I would think that would have been it.
I don't know, but and the ref just kind of shrugged his shoulders, but the Titans were going insane about what was going on and what was happening there. I was trying to figure out what was the call because there were 11 Bengals on the field. The punter walks out there and grabs the football and just nonchalantly walks back off the field. But evidently that was something wrong, but the refs didn't call it. But I don't know, and I love I hate it when I can't figure things out when we're going on the field.
Yeah, well, if you know, 615-737-1025. I do know that from my seat when Chris Moore made the catch and then he fumbled out of bounds, that Vrabel, I could see the veins popping out of Vrabel's head when he was yelling at the official because one official called it incomplete, one called it a catch and a fumble outside, and they're trying to huddle up, and Vrabel is like in the huddle, trying to plead his case, and the head official comes over and basically just pulls everybody back so they can finish the
And that was a complete catch, right?
Yeah, they made the right call. Right. I mean, like from my seat, I had a great view of it. I'm like, he made a football move. He had the catch, and then the ball popped out of bounds, which makes it, you get the ball at that spot. But it was a completed catch.
Also, I can't remember the last time I saw a 10-minute drive in the National Football League. They had it for long. It's like 10:30 in the third quarter.
Oh, yeah.
And I try to look at the longest – I'm going to look at it. I had it last night and I forgot it. The longest drive or the longest time of possession. And the thing is, what happens during that is that you can't take commercials.
Yeah.
So I'm watching our good friend who's the commercial ref down there. I think it's Michael Kilbane. You know Michael Kilbane?
I do know Michael Kilbane. He's a good friend of my dad's. Yeah,
he's a commercial. He was the orange mitts. So, and he's just standing there. I'm like, man, they're getting antsy because there's no commercials for that entire time that the Titans were driving down the field. And so, I mean, you come out and somebody said, the most important part of the game are before half, the last four and the first four, and the Titans dominated both of those and have that drive. And when the Bengals can't get on the field was something else.
Oh, it was no doubt. But I looked at the person I was with, and I was like, I looked at the clock and go, man, this is a long drive, and I didn't realize like how long it ended up being. But just milking the clock, owning the time of possession, that's what they did. That's what they needed to do, and that led to the result. I mean, obviously they had to execute on the plays when they had the football and the defense had to make plays. But I think owning the time of possession certainly helped things because when you take the ball out of Joe Burrow's hands, good things are going to happen for you.
I know Burrow's always looked like the way of like he doesn't care what's going on, but yesterday he looked like he really didn't care what was going on. I know he's not in-your-face kind of guy throwing temper tantrums and everything else, but he just looked lost and defeated. I mean, the Heat and the way the Titans were playing, the Bengals would have left at halftime had they had the choice.
34-45 was the time of possession by the Titans.
Not bad. Took the ball in nearly 35 minutes. That's something else, man. That's crazy like that.
You got something.
I know that's something. ESPN.com.
There's a mute button.
No, I don't even know what that is on my computer. This thing came over from the Mayflower. I'm not sure where everything is.
Titans' longest stated possession was in 2003 against the Jacksonville Jaguars, 11 minutes and 14 seconds.
Good.
So yesterday was the second longest with
Dr. Crane coming up with a good stuff.
Wow.
10 minutes and 22 seconds yesterday.
And that was the opening drive of the second half.
I believe so, yes.
Yes, it was.
Yeah.
Wow.
15 plays, 65 yards.
11 minutes is something else. That's crazy. But, but you keep the Bengals offense off the field and just wear that football team down. And, again, they were done at half. They were done after that drive in the third quarter.
Yeah, and how big was getting that score before the half with the jump pass? I mean, that took that took all the wind out of their sails.
It did. Sails. I was sitting behind the Titans bench, and I saw a coach run down and yell at Simmons. And he goes running in. I'm like, oh, what's Jeffrey Simmons doing on the where's he going? And he goes down there, and they called a timeout, right? Yeah. The Bengals called a timeout?
Yeah.
And then the Titans didn't switch anything up.
Nope.
They came back and did the same.
Was he on the line, or was he a tight end?
I think he was in the back. Was he?
Or was he fullback?
He was a fullback, yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you're right. He was, because he was behind.
Yeah. And then so I'm thinking, what's going to happen? I'm thinking, all right, I see Tannehill's not behind center, but Derrick Henry is. Like, all right, they're going to snap to Derrick Henry. They're obviously going to go right.
Well, they did it twice, because Tannehill lined up, and then he flexed out, and Derrick moved up.
Yeah.
And so Simmons was kind of in front of him, but offset.
Yeah. So I was like, all right, they're going to get it, and Simmons is going to clear a hole on the right side. He's going to score. Henry goes that way and stops and throws. And from my angle, I thought the Bengals intercepted it, because that guy almost put his hand on it. There's only one guy there. He just turned around like, oh, God, there's the tight end behind me. But what a great play call. I mean, that's just those are things you got to do to win ball games, and that was one of those things.
The more I think about it, the more I wonder if, I just think Simmons was out. Obviously, he, blocked or whatever, but I think he was out there more to be a decoy than anything, and he was never going to touch the ball.
I was hoping he'd get the ball.
Oh, I would love, like a refrigerator Perry.
That'd be fantastic. We need that in the National Football League. We need some giant
never see it anymore,
to go over and do
But
that.
I know that Simmons, it's been talked about, Vrabel's talked about it, that Simmons has been saying he wants to do more on offense. And so, you get down on the goal line like that, put Big 98 in there. If I'm a defensive lineman, I see that guy, I'm going, oh, bleep.
Yeah, what's going to happen now?
Because he's mean, too. He had a personal foul yesterday because trying to rip a dude's head off.
Right, and all that. But that's that's a game that was fun for them. They just dominate it and win the game and fun. And now you go, you harness that and go up, you take on, if you play 3/4 as good as you did yesterday, you beat the Colts.
Yeah, I agree. Wes in Clarksville, and I agree with him on this, says, I wish the Titans would stay consistent instead of being a roller coaster of a team. They look so good that next week they look pathetic. And I agree. It's just finding that consistency. But sometimes when you have a game like yesterday, that can lead to consistency. And as Joe just said, you go out there and you play 75% of that game plan against the Colts, and you win that game going into London, you're going to feel really good about yourself. Coming up next, we'll talk to former Titans punter Brett Kern. He joins us every Monday at 9:30, get his thoughts on the win yesterday at Nissan Stadium. It's Chase and Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
Sometimes it's good to be loud.
This is the NFL.
Especially when you're Jared Stillman.
That's where we are.
He's not afraid to say what's on his mind each and every day.
That was embarrassing. I don't care if you're a rookie. That was embarrassing.
Stillman and Company. Weekdays at 2 on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. On game day, you never have to decide which teams to watch, only what combination of bites, burgers, wings, and more to order. Plus, where else are your favorite draft beers always poured at a frozen 29 degrees? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Stick around after the sun sets. Twin Peaks is open really late. Wind down with bourbon and late-night bites. Only at Twin Peaks.
In 1972, a Nashville family business story began when Bill and Beverly Finley founded Volunteer Hose and Gasket. 3 generations have grown the business into the local industry leader supplying just about anything to anybody, from the largest of contractors to your neighbor that mows his own yard. Over 1 million items in stock: belts, belting accessories, gaskets, gauges, hose fittings, hydraulics, industrial hoses, lubricants, sealing products, tubing, fire protection, and more. All at volunteerhose.net. If Volunteer Hose and Gasket doesn't have it, then you probably don't need it. Call them at 615-242-0461.
Vanderbilt Commodore fans, 102.5 and 106.3 The Game, along with 94.9 The Fan, is your new home for broadcast of games and the Commodore Hour on Monday evenings. Catch all the action for football, men's and women's basketball, and baseball all season long. Go Doors!
Actor Portrayal, based on a real patient experience.
I'm Mike. I'm a husband, proud father of 2, work my butt off 6 days a week, some nights too. When my family or my company needs me to make it happen, I make it happen. But a few months ago, I started having trouble making it happen, in the bedroom. I tried some pills online, but they didn't work. Honestly, I thought about throwing in the towel on my sex life, but I'm not that old. I still want to enjoy intimacy with my wife. Like that poet said, I don't want to just go gently into that good night. So I went to the Tennessee Men's Clinic in Franklin. Got some lab work done, was prescribed some meds, and wow, it made it happen. I can't say enough about them. Their providers took care of me, followed up, and made sure I had a treatment plan that actually works. It's awesome. If I were you, and you're like me, I'd give them a call today, 615-208-9090, or go to TennesseeMen'sClinic.com. If you're like most guys, they'll make it happen for you too.
Visit our website to learn more, including side effects, treatments extra. Results vary.
Yo, 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 what's up, party people? I'm Julie Foudy.
And I'm Lynn Ozawi.
We host the ESPN podcast Laughter Permitted, where we have candid chats with trailblazing women in sports and beyond.
We've talked with goats like Billie Jean King, Simone Biles, Mia Hamm, Sue Bird, Candace Parker, Michaela Schifrin, just to name a few.
So grab a donut or 500 and check us out wherever you get your podcasts. And a huge shout out to our presenting sponsor, Ally, who has supported us since day one. It's Laughter Permitted.
Hey, we'd love to hear from you. Give us a call on the phone line, sponsored by Wilson County Hyundai.
Yes, I'm looking for a friend of mine. Last name Jazz, first name Hugh.
615-737-1025.
Hugh Jazz.
Chase and Big Joe are on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game.
Broadcasting live from the Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical Studios. Chase McKay, Big Joe Dubin on this Monday. Titans win at 27-3 against Cincinnati yesterday. And for more on that, we say hello to former Titans punter Brett Kern, who joins us every Monday at 9:30. Brett, good morning. What's up?
Good morning. Glad the Titans got a win yesterday. Took a tough loss in fantasy football last night thanks to Pacheco. So,
oh, no.
Tough one, but at least the Titans got a win.
Yeah, and it was a dominant win, Brett. I mean, we saw it. They were getting to Joe Burrow. Obviously, Tim Kelly called a great game, but when we see some of these creative plays, like the jump pass from Derek with Jeffrey Simmons in on offense, when the install process starts, do you guys put plays in like that during training camp and then it's kind of revisited when they want to use it? How does that process work?
Yeah, I mean, it can go back to as early as when you report, in April. I remember, in the championship game, the ACC championship game, we ran the fake against the Chiefs, and we actually had that dialed up. We started practicing that actually in May, so it can go back as far as install from May, June when you're working in camp and you're kind of working some things out to you might think about putting in a play in week 2. You kind of practice it, and you just wait for the right situation, right time. Yesterday's case, I thought it was funny because it was 3rd and 2. You can't run the ball because you don't have any timeouts left. It's 3rd down. If you don't make it, there's only 14 seconds left. That's not enough time to get a hurricane field goal off. Usually that's around 18 seconds, and you were so far down to the goal line. That's a long run to begin with for a field goal like that. And so really the situation was, and I was texting back and forth with Ben Jones, and he called the play. He's like, hey, this is the Derek jump pass because this is what it has to be in this situation. So, but I know they've probably been working on that with Derek for years. And so you just wait for the right situation, right time. throwing Big Jeff to kind of take the eyes of the defense, thinking, that whole formation's overloaded to that side, especially with Big Jeff. And, he slipped the tight end off the back and wide open.
Were you surprised that they stuck with it even after Cincinnati called the timeout?
Not really. I mean, Cincinnati's probably thinking the whole time that, they got Big Jeff out there, and I think he was lined up at fullback, and then they called the timeout, and then when they came back out, I think he was lined up at, kind of in that wing tight end position. So, but no, it didn't surprise me. That's the one play that they had. That's the one play they wanted to do, and they executed it.
Talking to former Titans punter Brett Kern. Brett, is this your first year playing fantasy football?
Yes, it is. I've played fantasy golf for a long time. 'Cause I don't know why. It's just really fun to me. But this is the first time I'm in a league with my son and a bunch of his friends from school, and then another dad. And so it's just kind of it's like their flag football team and some other kids. And I took a tough loss last night. I was up 24 points, and Pacheco got 24.8, and so lost by less than a point. And it was a tough one. But you know what? Hats off to the 8th grader that beat me. So.
You can't talk trash to him. That's the worst part about this.
I know. I almost played a flag football game yesterday, and I almost said something to him like, "Hey, man, how does it lose?" Get a little trash talk, and my son, I was about to go forth with the trash talk, and my son's like, "Hey, Dad, Pacheco might go off tonight," and I was like, "But be quiet. Like he's not going to get over 24 points tonight." And literally within the first quarter, I was toast. So.
Now you know the pain that all of us has felt for years doing fantasy football. By the way, Pacheco runs like he's been chased by Scooby-Doo. He's one of those cartoon characters. He has a weird running style, but he was going off last night. All right, so I want to ask you this. The Titans had that 10.5-minute drive coming out of the half. How deflating do you think that was for the Bengals, who wanted that ball back to get a chance to go down and score, make it really good in the third quarter, but did not get the ball until, with 4.5 minutes left in the third quarter? How deflating is that?
That's to come out of halftime like that. That's exactly what you want to do. A 10-minute, 22-second drive is insane. That's the longest drive I think this year in the NFL, and obviously it goes back to 2003 with the longest drive in Titans history. So, but especially when you take all that time off the clock, the Titans were holding the Bengals to under 100 yards rushing for the day, right? And so, but they were in that point where they had to throw the ball, and Joe Burrow, the menu really that they had for Joe Burrow, they don't have the full menu with him. You're obviously learning with the Titans with Tim Kelly, the menu is starting to grow and grow. You're starting to add some more dishes to the menu, right? And how it looks. Well, the Bengals, they're going the opposite way. They have this menu that is getting cut down big time because Joe. There's multiple times yesterday where Joe probably should have taken off and ran, and he couldn't. The one he did, he slid, to make sure that he got the first down, but that was that. And so, knowing that they were in passing situations, they were down big. They didn't want to, the Titans, they run 10 minutes off the clock. You're not really in the position to be able to run the ball much. And so you could tell, like, as the game went on, Shane Bowen just started dialing up these pressures. And the first drive of the game, they were kind of playing that bend, don't break. Jamar Chase was kind of doing what he wanted to do. They were kind of playing off coverage a little bit. But as the game went on, you could definitely tell Shane was dialing it in. We're going to bring pressure. He can't move. We're going to collapse his pocket. And there were some hits on Joe yesterday that he came back to the sidelines, and Fox was showing him on TV, and he just looked like, I'm ready to get back to Cincinnati. I'm done with this day. So this is going to be a really long season with how he's feeling.
I don't know if you can recall one off the top of your head, but Chase and I were talking about a couple of Vrabel meltdowns yesterday, and rightfully so. What's the worst meltdown you remember from a head coach or maybe an assistant coach?
Yeah, there's been a couple. Vrabel's, he has his moments. I think he keeps it relatively cool for the most part. He definitely lets the officials know how he's feeling, as most coaches do. But offhand, there was a couple. The worst was like the COVID year when there was no fans in the stands, and you could just hear. I just remember, I think we were at Green Bay. and I hit a touchback, and I could just hear Vrabel from the sidelines, and he just lost it on me because it was at that point where, like, if we pinned him deep, it was snowing. You know, it was a time for our defense to come out, stop Aaron Rodgers and all that stuff. But there was no fans in the stands, so you could hear him. It felt like a mile away, but you could hear him clear as day. And yeah, that year was tough on a lot of things, but especially to hear your coaches yell at you when there's no fans in the stands made it worse.
Talking to Brett Kern, a former Titans punter, here with us. So through 4 games, DeAndre Hopkins has 18 catches for 216 yards. Does not have a touchdown yet, but he had his longest catch of the year, 38 yesterday, which I thought was a really key play. Do you feel like that they have gotten exactly what they've been looking for out of him? Because he's clearly been the most productive receiver to this point.
Absolutely. I mean, you know, I don't know if you want to throw comparisons to, you know, when we got Julio and in that situation, but, you know, DeAndre's been there. He's been in all 4 games. Like, you know, we talked about last week, kind of being that security blanket for Ryan, and just some big catches yesterday on 3rd down. And that's who you want. Like, that's who you want to go to on 3rd down, is a guy, you know, that's got sure hands. I think the guy was born with stickum on his hands. Like, he just doesn't drop the ball. So that's great for Ryan to have. You know, especially with Burks out yesterday too. Somebody like NWI. Nick Westbrook-Akina to be able to come in, and he's just done exactly what he's needed to do, right? You know, whenever his name's called upon, whether it's blocking, you know, as a wide receiver or just making big catches. Yesterday, you know, the run after catch for a touchdown. You know, I just think they're clicking well. I think Ryan, you know, especially with Tim mixing up the play calls and really getting Ryan into that play action mode where he can find his receivers. He's feeling. You can tell he's starting to make or have developed continuing good chemistry with number 10, which is really good to see.
Yeah, so, real quick, just for comparison, Julio played 3 games, and then he was inactive for 2, had 204 yards on 12 catches. So definitely more production from DeAndre.
Brett, typically, are the players off on Monday? I know Tuesday's an off day during a regular week. What's Monday like?
After a day like yesterday, probably come in, get a lift, and watch film with coaches. After a loss like Cleveland, probably come in, lift, team meeting, a lot of film with coaches. It just, you know, after a good win like yesterday, and then you kind of check on your injury report too. If there's a lot of guys banged up, you know, you kind of might ease off on a Monday. You know, if you got a short week on Thursday, a Thursday game, that's, you know, your Mondays, you have to condense a lot into Monday because you're losing some days on prep and practice and stuff like that. But, you know, after a good win like yesterday, it's probably coming, get a lift, check with your coaches, and see you Wednesday morning.
Is there a different vibe when it's a division game? I know all games are huge, but this game versus the Colts is just this early in the season is just really a massive game for the Titans. Different vibe around the facility?
Yeah, I mean, anytime you get a chance to play your division opponents, you know, it ramps up in the building. And, you know, I don't know if anybody would have thought at this point after 4 games, everybody would be 2-2. I think the advantage the Titans have is this is their first divisional game. You know, all the other teams, they kind of played each other early, which was, you know, usually what happens. Usually you kind of get some divisional games in early, then you kind of take a break, and then you kind of hit them towards the end of the year. But I don't know why. The other thing, too, is sometimes you play – like you might play the Texans twice in a 4-week, 3-week span, which I don't really understand. But, you know, it's just the way the NFL wants to do it with scheduling. But, you know, for the fact that the Titans, this is their first divisional game, they're 0-0. This is a chance for them to go up to Indy, who's, ironically, they're 0-2 at home, but they're 2-0 on the road. So, you know, they had a rough start yesterday, but, you know, credit to them being down 23-0, battled back, took it to overtime, just couldn't pull it off. But, you know, it's going to be a really, really good game. And I think a lot of people probably thought, you know, the Colts weren't going to be what they are, especially with the 2-2 start. But, you know, they're in the same boat. They're kind of figuring out what works, what doesn't work. And I think you could tell the Titans over these first 4 games, you can kind of see you have 2 games of just where it's not been great at all. And then you have 2 games where you're like, hey, this is good. We can keep this flow, obviously, with Derek rushing for what he did yesterday and Tajay helping out. You know, there's a good, really, really good flow to yesterday, and hopefully you just keep that momentum going.
Yeah, and speaking of Derek, I mean, I know how much he means to you, and obviously has meant to the organization. He finally gets over 100 yards for a game. this season with 122, but the big stat is that he's now passed Earl Campbell on the all-time list with the Titans. How cool is that, and to see that moment yesterday?
Yeah, it's pretty darn awesome. To pass somebody like Earl is that's pretty special for him. I'm happy for him. That guy's he's kind of a quiet leader. Doesn't really say much, but he definitely shows who he is and the kind of guy he is on the field. The way he runs it's special to watch. And even watching, I saw CJ this weekend at an event, and just to see how he ran and how he got his yards, and then how he gets his yards, and it's just special. And I thought even yesterday, how he got his yards, he got going, and I found it interesting too that Tim Kelly was they weren't necessarily just running straight up, handoff power or anything like that, just straight up the A gaps. They had Reeder in there who's a big boy, and Brew's technically sound. He's tough, but to be able to move Reeder around that's a tall task for really anybody. And so you could tell they kind of implemented that toss to kind of get Derek going, get him ahead of steam, but really get him out of that A gap, B gap, and get him more into the CD gaps, which got him rolling pretty good. And man, what a joy to watch him run. It's special, and I'm happy for him.
Brett, let's talk about your autograph thing. How was that like this weekend down there in Franklin? There were a lot of big names that were there.
Oh, it was chaos. That's what it was, but it was a ton of fun. I missed out on the Sandlot guys, Ham and Squints and all that stuff. But they were definitely probably the biggest draw. A lot of people with their Sandlot posters and recalling a lot of childhood memories. But yeah, it was cool. It was a fun event. It was really cool to meet a lot of people too that were just huge Titans fans, and so it was a good time.
Well, Chase and I were on reserve just in case you didn't show up, but so I'm glad you showed up.
Oh, I was there. My son collects cards, and we kind of do that as a hobby a little bit together. So he was, I was way early, and we stayed late. So he definitely wasn't going to let me not go to that event. So nice. It was a good time.
Well, Brett, appreciate it as always, and hopefully we can talk about another win next week.
Sounds good. Y'all have a good one.
You too. Brett Kern, former Titans punter, joining us here on the show as he does every Monday at 9:30. We'll continue to take your calls and texts on the Titans' 27-3 win, 615-737-1025.
Can we do the tease while people are mad at Patrick Mahomes right now?
Yes.
They are mad.
Oh, I know why they're mad.
They are mad. And I'd like to explain it to somebody ignorant like myself, if you don't mind. Come back. But people are furious at Pat Mahomes right now.
We will do that next. Chase and Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
Shinedown. The Revolution's live tour continues. This Tuesday, First Bank Amphitheater, Franklin, Tennessee. With very special guests, Papa Roach and Spirit Box. On sale now. Buy tickets at livenation.com. Don't miss Shinedown Live, part of the Farm Bureau Insurance Concert Series.
When getting the job done right is job one, you need construction equipment that's built right. From compact track loaders to the world's #1 selling compact excavator, the Kubota construction lineup features durable Kubota engines, more comfort, and the versatility to do it all and do it right. Visit your local Kubota dealer today. Go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Oh, Charlie's, that's where you find me. That southern flavor got me saying, hey, y'all. Yum, yum, have some fun. Share with the ones you love. Don't you want to roll?
At O'Charlie's, we thought you'd enjoy a little country rock and rolls. The warm, buttery, delicious kind. Served free with every meal. O'Charlie's. Oh, that's good.
Yum, yum, have some fun. Charlie's, born in Nashville, and it shows.
Are you drowning in credit card debt? Want to get cash out of your home's equity? Loan Pronto can do it now in less than a week. Hey, Willie Donick here. That's right. Loan Pronto's Equity Express line of credit just got even faster. You can get $50,000, $100,000, even $200,000 in as little as 5 days. You don't even have to touch your primary mortgage. You can keep that 3% rate intact. Get just the money you need and pay off all those credit cards or get that home improvement project started. With this revolutionary program, you can access up to 90% of your home's value, and in most cases, there's no appraisal. Stop paying insane interest rates to the credit card companies and get tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars in cash in as little as 5 days. Call Loan Pronto now for the even faster Equity Express line. 615-499-5780. That's 615-499-5780 or go to loanpronto.com. 615-499-5780. Equal Housing Lender, NMLS 1661781, subject to lender approval.
Nashville's Best Deals is a great place to save cash fast. Get up to half off or more on dining and entertainment at thegamenashville.com/deals. Check back often for new featured deals and save money now at thegamenashville.com/deals.
Green Trees Company Dispensary and 102.5 The Game want to send you to see Kiss at Bridgestone Arena October 23rd. Keep listening to Nashville's Best Sports Talk for your chance to win tickets to see Kiss on their End of the Road tour, courtesy of Green Trees Company Dispensary.
You're listening to the Chase and Big Joe Show.
I could pull a better cartoon out of my ass. Hey, whoa! Wasn't that great, kids?
On 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Kind of talk about Earl, kind of admiring maybe the legacy he left. How cool is to pass him and maybe get recognized, I guess, in game?
Yeah, I'm thankful. I'm blessed. Grateful for everything. Grateful for this opportunity. I was a kid just, that loved football, playing in my grandmother's yard in Yulee, Florida, and my opportunity to get a chance to play Pop Warner and moving up and up as the older I got, and to be mentioned with a name that I've heard so long as a kid. It's a surreal moment for me. I'm thankful. God is good, and thankful for the people that helped me get there.
That was Derrick Henry yesterday after surpassing Earl Campbell.
Who in the world would want to play backyard football with him growing up?
Right. No. I want to know when he hit his growth spurt.
I mean, I know there's always those one or two guys in the neighborhood who would, they're smaller than everybody else, and you're like, good Lord, they just knock your block off. But I just want to know who would play with Derrick Henry in the backyard.
I mean, I've seen like video of him in high school, and he looked like he was, already in the NFL.
Yeah, I remember he came in the Sugar Bowl game in 2013, Alabama, and I forget who they're playing. He, in the fourth quarter, just ran over everybody. Oh, yeah. I'm like, who is this guy? And then in 14 and 15 he wins a Heisman Trophy. So.
Yeah. People knew who he was after that, for sure. Okay, so you wanted to ask me, we'll get back into the Titans here in just a second. You wanted to ask me why people are mad at Patrick Mahomes.
So they're up 23-20, the Chiefs are. Late in the fourth quarter, he runs for a first down, could possibly score. I mean, there's a jet guy there, but he could have made him miss.
I think he could have scored.
Slides down at the 2-yard line, ball game. Chiefs win by 3. All right? But people are furious at him, and tell me why.
Because the line was 8.5. And so if he scores, even without the extra point, the Chiefs cover at that point. And so if you had the Chiefs minus 8.5, which I would imagine a lot of people did because they don't think the Jets with Zach Wilson are very good, even though they still have a pretty good defense, then you're furious because he probably could have – I think he could have scored.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
And that ends the game, and so therefore you lose the bet.
So if you had –
that's a bad beat.
So if you had the Jets covering, you're happy.
If you took the Jets plus 8.5, you're feeling good today.
Man, I just couldn't imagine just going down there and doing that and thinking they're gonna score.
But it happens. I mean, it happens all the time. Like, you get because, yeah, he could have scored, and then they would have been up by 10, and probably still won the game. But in his head and in Andy Reid's mind, you just slide and the game's over.
Right.
So just end it. You're going to win because they don't care about the spread or anything like that.
Well, he was really dramatic when he got the first down. He stood up and he posed and he flipped the ball, and it's something.
Was he just waving at his wife and Taylor because they're besties now?
Well, it was weird because I hadn't seen that kind of emotion out of Mahomes like that. It was just
he's starting to show it a little bit. It's funny because I see it. He kind of, in some ways, is like Peyton in a sense of he's probably got more of a dry sense of humor, but like once you kind of let him do it, it's really funny. Like Peyton was pretty boring, and then he started doing commercials. And to me, the biggest moment for Peyton was he did SNL, and he did that. Remember the fake United Way commercial where he's like throwing the ball at the kids?
Yeah.
And like getting a tattoo and stuff. That's when I was like, okay, Peyton Manning's pretty funny. Like that was kind of that moment. And I think that was like 02 or 03, something like that.
It was 07.
Oh, was it 07? Jeez. But that's when he really kind of started to show it. And now Mahomes has won 2 Super Bowls. He's in MVP.
Right.
The personality's starting to come out.
That's fine. I'm all for it. But just reading this morning, all these people are just mad at Mahomes. I'm like, hey, they won a football game. Why are you mad at him? And then I was like, oh, okay. The degenerates are all mad.
David says that the ending last night was ridiculous, so blatantly obvious, disgusting by the NFL. I don't think the NFL the NFL does not care about that. They don't.
You sure about that, Chase?
I'm sure about that. They don't care about that.
That was an awful call on the DB. That was an awful call.
Yeah, that was not pass interference.
Yeah, sure. But I mean, like.
You think the refs are in on it?
No. Refs on the take?
No, you see, we shouldn't go down that line.
Refs got the under.
Right. But, that was an awful
call.
No,
it was a terrible call.
Right.
Look, I mean, to me, that's 2 different conversations. The officiating in the National Football League absolutely sucks.
Yeah, it does.
It just does. Like, there are missed calls all the time, and now I'm just kind of immune to it. I'm just like, okay, well.
Yeah, it's sad, too.
It's going to be a bad call. I mean, the fact that – I'll bring it back to the Titans game. The fact that they had to have a discussion when there's a guy – you got one guy that's running across the field waving his hands incomplete, and the guy that's standing there and, like, literally was right next to the play is going like, no, it's a catch. I'm like, why are we wasting time with the discussion? Like, go with the guy that's standing right there.
I totally agree. Also, somebody tweeted out last night, it's like, why did Mahomes slide? And somebody said, well, he saw the yellow line and knew that he'd passed the first down. And I'm like, are you that stupid to think there's a yellow line going across the field? That's only for TV. I mean, there's not a yellow line sitting out there. It was just funny reading all the people getting so upset at that.
I think I've heard that somebody tripped over the yellow line. 1976 says, yep, I lost money on the Chiefs last night because I had them covering and they didn't. My first mobile bet because I'm in Kentucky. Welcome to gambling, LOL. Yep, it comes with it.
Get ready for more. I haven't done it in a long time, but it's like fantasy football. I mean, it just breaks your heart. You see things, you watch to the end, and something like that happens, and it goes away. There was a game one time where it almost crushed Vegas, and I'm going to look it up, where a last second happened, play like that, and somebody covered a spread, and one's supposed to cover a spread, and it's just, there's a lot that goes into all that stuff.
Jay Miles says flags should be reviewable, especially potentially game-changing ones. Ref grades should be public. If they have a C or worse, each team should get a flag challenge.
I agree to that. I think so.
I don't think that's a terrible move.
I think so, because if you go back and look at that, Robert Saleh gets, when's the last time a coach got an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty?
Oh, yeah. I can't remember.
I mean, it takes a lot.
Didn't Vrabel get one?
Maybe.
I feel like Vrabel's gotten one.
The only one that comes to mind for me is actually in college. Jim Harbaugh got
or maybe it was a sideline. I mean, you see the sideline warning.
The Bengals got one yesterday. No.
Well, there was a Bengals player and Jeffrey Simmons. They both got unsportsmanlike at the same time, but they offset. And now they have the rule: if you get 2, you get kicked out. But
good, you should.
Yeah, no, I agree. But reviewing flags, that would be interesting. For sure. Coming up next, we'll look at the NFL as a whole through 4 weeks. What teams have surprised us, either in a good way or a bad way, and are we still figuring some out? We'll do that next. And continue to take your calls and texts on the Titans at 615-737-1025. It's Chase and Big Joe, 102.5-106.3 The Game.
ElectronicExpress.com. We make it happen.
It's time to celebrate this fall and unleash the beast. Monster Brewing proudly presents to you Beast Unleashed. 0 caffeine, 0 sugar, all the adult beverage fun. The Beast is unleashed with great taste, bold familiar flavors, and 6% alcohol. Go wild with Mean Green, White Haze, Peach Perfect, and Scary Berries. Don't fear the Beast. Enjoy Beast Unleashed at your next tailgate or football party. Drink responsibly. Must be 21 and over.
DraftKings Sports and Social is bringing you the ultimate fan experience this football season with a 48-foot media wall, 22 TVs, mouth-watering game day eats, and cold beer. DraftKings Sports and Social, opening October 5th at Nashville Live on 2nd Avenue.
All of us at 102.5 and 106.3 The Game want to recognize our active military, veterans, first responders, and educators with the playing of our national anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rockets' red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
This is 102.5 and 106.3 The Game. Now, your Game Center update.
This Game Center update is delivered by Black Tie Moving. This is Nick Frazier with your Game Center update. The Tennessee Titans beat the Cincinnati Bengals 27-3. Titans running back Derrick Henry now has the second most career rushing yards in franchise history behind Eddie George. Here was Derrick Henry's comments after the win.
I was a kid just, that loved football, playing in my grandmother's yard in Yulee, Florida, and my opportunity to get a chance to play Pop Warner and moving up and up as the older I got. And to be mentioned with a name that I've heard so long as a kid, it's a surreal moment for me. I'm thankful. God is good, and I'm thankful for the people that helped me get there.
Tune in to 93.3 Classic Hits Wednesday as the MTSU Blue Raiders take on the Jacksonville State Gamecocks. Coverage begins at 6 p.m. with kickoff to follow. You're listening to 102.5 and 106.3 The Game. Game Center update delivered by Black Tie Moving. Use the promo code GAME to score 10% off your next move.
Live from the Hiller Plumbing, Heating, Cooling, and Electrical Studios. WPRT-FM Pegram, WPUZ HD2 Laverne.
Ross Chastain will be first to finish in the Ally 500 at Nashville Super Speedway.
Nashville's exclusive home for NASCAR. 102.5 and 106.3.
Checkered flag is in the air. Man, this is a win in the cup race.
The Game.
A Cromwell media station.
Let me talk to you. Talking what's important to Nashville.
Sweet mother of God, what is the holdup?
This is the Chase and Big Joe Show.
Well, Lottie frickin' da!
With Chase McCabe and Big Joe Dubin.
Good, great, grand, wonderful.
We're here on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hour number 2, Chase and Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. He's Big Joe Dubin. I'm Chase McCabe. Nick Frazier, Dr. Crane on the ones and twos. Titans win 27-3 in Nissan Stadium yesterday. And another wild and crazy day in the National Football League. And through 4 weeks of the NFL season, now's the time where as you get into October, you start to really figure out what teams are. With the AFC South, I'm still not sure. Every team is at 2-2. I kind of look at Houston and even Indianapolis and go, they don't know that they're bad yet.
Right.
C.J. Stroud has played excellent, for a rookie for Houston. So I think they should be happy with what they have there if they can build around him. But Jacksonville's 2-2. They won in London yesterday.
Are they staying in London?
Yeah, because they're playing
Buffalo Bills.
Yeah, they play next week, so they're just staying. Indy loses in overtime to the Rams at home yesterday, so they find themselves at 2-2. Obviously, the Titans at 2-2. So a tough division to figure out. To me, Joe, there are, I would say, only 2 teams that I would go as advertised in the NFL.
Okay.
San Francisco, that sits at 4-0. I mean, a dominating performance yesterday. Christian, how many? Do you have 3 touchdowns?
He had 4.
4 touchdowns?
Almost 5, but they chose to give it to Brock Purdy for the 5th one.
I mean, Christian McCaffrey was unreal yesterday. And even though it was a game that they probably should have lost, I still say Philadelphia is as advertised. But kudos to Washington for giving him a game yesterday.
Yeah.
Washington probably should have won that game.
Washington got a good team, and A.J. Brown had after blowing up and last week and getting mad at whomever's on the team, he had a very good game yesterday and exploded that way. Is it Monday night game Seattle and the Giants?
Yes.
Why are we? The Giants are on every single primetime game.
New York.
Get rid of them. That's terrible.
I know.
Aren't you only allowed 6 primetime appearances per year? I think that's what it is.
I think so.
If not, we would see the Cowboys every single.
Sure.
And people are like, Cowboy. You see the ratings in the Cowboys play? I mean, they're massive.
Yeah,
massive.
Sure. I mean, there's a reason why if I get the opportunity to run a Cowboys game on one of our stations, I do. And of course it's funny because people know I'm a fan, and so I get crap for it. But I mean,
hey man,
it's called moving the needle.
Start swinging haymakers at people.
They got a big game coming up. 49ers.
Look out the way.
I know.
Do you got that game next week?
Yes, I think we do. Dallas is Dallas, I guess, is maybe – are they as advertised at this point? Yes, we do. Next Sunday night on 102.5.
Yeah. I mean, they should be 4-0.
They shouldn't have lost. Yeah, they played a terrible game against Arizona.
Does nobody call Dak Prescott out anymore, or am I just
I think they do.
Okay.
They did in his press conference yesterday.
Yeah. And you know what?
Good.
I love that. I love that they did that, and he even said, like, oh, hey, thanks for getting me pissed off for next week. I appreciate that.
Well, I mean, that pass against the Cardinals was awful.
Yeah. That is, like, I think Dallas has a really good defense. They obviously have some good offensive playmakers. Pollard left the game yesterday, but I think Pollard is a solid running back. CeeDee Lamb, they have one of the best offensive lines in the league. The biggest question mark with them is their quarterback.
Right.
And like, that's been their problem since Aikman. I mean, Tony Romo was good, but did you trust Tony Romo in the big situations to win a game? No, I didn't.
At all.
Dak Prescott is good, but do you trust him in the big situations in the playoffs to win a game? No.
No, I wouldn't. And that's the whole thing is that he got that massive contract. He's getting paid a lot of money, and to throw passes like that are just – I know it happens, but it's really bad. But we'll see what happens. That's a good game next Sunday night. Is that in San Francisco?
I believe it is in the Bay. Now, yesterday, another one that surprised me but didn't surprise me at the same time. I was wondering if there would be a little bit of a hangover for Miami after dropping 70 the week before. There was a hangover. And that's a tough place to play, but you couldn't go in there with a hangover, and they did.
But, it's any given Sunday, a team's going to be fired up, ready to go. And the Bills were going to be ready to go, and the Dolphins were walking into a hornet's nest. And it just happened that the Dolphins have played 3 of the 4 games have been on the road.
Mm-hmm.
First 2 on the road, and then they went home, and then they on the road again. And you run into that happens. It goes on. But the Bills are, people want to write the Bills off. I'm like, their window is shut. I'm like,
what? I think the Bills are paying attention to that. They probably got a bulletin board somewhere in that locker room that's like, hey, we've been written off. People think Josh sucks, and they think we're terrible.
Our window is closed. I mean, look, you went up against Mahomes the last couple, and Joe Burrow the last couple of years. It's not like these wins are guaranteed, but I just think that's such a stupid reference. Like, the window is closed.
Yeah, but I feel like Buffalo they're in a spot where it's like, hey, you're still a really good team. Josh Allen is, one of the elite quarterbacks in the league. But you got to do something at some point. It's just like Justin Herbert and the Chargers, that we want to say, okay, Justin Herbert's one of the best quarterbacks in the league, and he's in that conversation. You got to do something at some point, and you can't use we play in the same division as the Chiefs as an excuse.
Right.
You know, you got eventually you gotta do something. And so I think Buffalo.
But what do you want? This is only his third year. Where do you expect him to go?
Is his third year or fourth year?
I believe it's his fourth year, and also with news about his finger from yesterday, it is fractured.
That's not good. Yeah, I just saw
He come out in 20? I didn't know that. In the Burrow draft?
Yeah.
I believe so.
Where have I been? Obviously not paying attention. That's one place.
Yeah, but I think Buffalo's good. I mean, that division is going to come down to the Bills and the Dolphins. I mean, I think we all agree that. And this whole talk of Rodgers coming back this year with the Achilles because he had this experimental surgery.
That's him saying that. There's no way he's coming back.
No way. Like if I'm the Jets and I'm any kind of medical professional, I am not. I mean, maybe January, maybe if they make it that far.
They were saying week 7 return. I was like, what?
No chance.
There's no way.
Yeah, after the bye week.
He was on crutches last night. There's no way.
Chance.
Yeah, he's probably just telling Melissa Stark that, like, yeah, I'll be back week 7.
No,
that's in a couple of weeks. Yeah, I guess.
No chance. If he's back this year, I will.
Who was the running back that came back from? Was it Adrian Peterson that came back from ACL and they said he's out a good 9 months?
Yeah.
Yep.
It came back in like 8 weeks. Something crazy.
Yeah.
He came back.
I mean, look, there are guys that can do it, but he's almost 40 years old. Like
What are you trying to say?
Like, sorry, the body doesn't do things. I'm learning that at 36.
You should see how I get out of bed in the morning.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm 54 and I bounce right out of the bed. I mean, it takes me 7 bounces.
I pulled something in my neck by sneezing. I mean, I'm learning that.
But who knows? I mean, if he wants to do it, let him do it. More power to him, because he knows that.
As long as I would go to him and go, Aaron, you can do this if you want, but you're going to sign this piece of paper that says that we don't have to pay you anything.
I mean, he's sitting next to the owner. You know, the owner's like, I got $35 million, whatever it is. And this guy, he's sitting next to me. It's got to be a gut punch to the Jets.
I'm surprised he didn't try and waddle into Taylor Swift's seat or suite and try and, steal her away.
So that leads me into Travis Kelce. All right. How is he open on every single play? It's crazy how he's
open.
Always
always been that way.
It's just even more so now. You watch even more to see what
you're paying. Well, you're paying more attention, now because of everything. But
every play he's open,
and he was in every other commercial last night.
They did a great play last night. They put 2 tight ends in the backfield, and Mahomes in shotgun, and both the tight ends went straight up the middle, and then they parted like the Red Sea, and he hit the other tight end for a big gain. I was like, what a great play! But yeah, he's in every other commercial. You're right.
Yeah, and Saturday night they did a replay of SNL, and guess what episode it was?
There he was,
Travis Kelce.
Just never thought a tight end. I mean, a tight end in the National Football League.
He's got personality, but I mean,
right.
You're right. I mean, but I mean, his brother
and he's winning. I mean, he couldn't do this if he's on the Panthers.
Yeah,
they're not going for the Panthers tight end. By the way, the Panthers are 0-4. Might be one of the worst football teams I've ever seen. They're terrible. They're really bad.
They're bad. You buying Baltimore right now?
Yeah, they're good.
I think Baltimore's pretty good.
But they're another team. I know Harbaugh won the Super Bowl in 2012, but they got to do something now. There's been a lot of hype on that team for quite a while. I agree. That's the most hyped team, I think, and that hasn't done anything. Then I think they need to get it done to the next level.
Steelers are. I think Steelers are better than maybe they show right now.
Right, for show.
But
for show,
they have to realize that.
Yeah.
But, Cleveland clearly missed Deshaun.
They looked bad yesterday too.
Awful.
They looked so bad.
Who
else you got?
Kansas City, I think, hasn't quite tapped the full potential yet.
They looked good last night.
They look good, but
it was good that they got a big lead and the Jets came back to kind of showed the fortitude of that football team.
They need. I mean, the thing is, Kelsey's their, I guess, number 1 receiver.
Right.
But I'm waiting for a wide receiver to kind of take that crown.
Does he? I'm sorry, but the Andy Reid commercial when he tries to steal the
Nuggies.
I don't know why that is so goofy. I laugh every single time at that.
It makes me laugh. It makes me laugh.
I don't know. It's just funny to see all that, but I mean they're so good. He's such a good play caller and just. Just plug another guy in and get it done. And, and that division's the Broncos are bad. The Raiders are bad. Chargers now. If Herbert's out for a while, they're bad.
It's not his throwing hand, so that'll be interesting how they approach this situation.
Broncos did win yesterday.
They did.
Because the Bears are so bad that they just basically gave it to
Is it the hand he flips people off on, or is that the right or left hand?
It is that finger, though.
Okay. Oh, it is?
It is.
Oh,
well, that'll
that
be his. He'll have to do the Ross from Friends kind of gesture. Yeah.
For those of you watching the stream, you just got that.
But the AFC is really the haves and the awfuls. Not even the have-nots, just the awfuls. Where the NFC is like, all right, we got one or two teams, and everybody else like, all right, we'll see you next year.
Yeah. Like, start getting your golf clubs ready to go.
But you spoke earlier. I do like that Redskins team. Although Ron Rivera had one of the dumbest things.
You mean Commanders?
Commanders, Redskins, whatever they call them, the Guardians, whatever they're called. What did he say? They didn't go for 2 because his team was tired?
Yeah. I didn't like that.
That was really – and then I think McCourty on the Sunday Night Football is like, why are you calling your team out like this? I mean, go for it.
Because, I mean, like Riverboat Ron usually would go for it.
I tell you, I've told you this 1,000 times. If you've got a chance to win the game, the ball's on the 3-yard line, go win the game. Don't give the other team a chance to get opportunity to score. Win the game. Trust in your guys.
I will believe this until the day I die. And I know that he's denied it, and everybody says
he's not going for 2.
I think if Dyson scores or somebody scores and you put Jeff in that moment and he looks at that defense and he sees how tired that defense is.
Not a chance. Not a chance. Too conservative of an old ball coach. Too conservative. New coaches, the Mike McDaniels of the world, would go for 3.
Oh, 100%.
That's the famous – you know the famous Woody Hayes quote? I tell you this? They're playing they beat Michigan, and they got a nice lead into the game. Woody Hayes goes for 2, and everybody's like, oh, how do you do that? And so after in the press conference, somebody says, Coach, why did you go for 2 right then? And he said, because I couldn't go for 3.
That's actually really
fantastic.
Good. That is a great line. 615-737-1025. We'll get back into the Titans and their win yesterday here on Chase and Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
Are you always on the go? We've got you covered. Download the Game Nashville app from your app store and listen to us wherever you are.
Robbie Stanley, Joe Rexroad. It's Chase McCabe.
Caroline, Willie, D-Mace.
Dominic Company.
We are Nashville's best sports talk.
Good station. I listen to it all the time.
102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Attention all fire protection, commercial plumbing, and HVAC experts. Jarrett Companies are looking for experienced field technicians like you. Tired of working for your large corporate employer? Work for a company where you're more than just a number. Jarrett's Fire Protection, commercial plumbing, and HVAC divisions are owned and operated by Nashville natives who want you to grow with their amazing team.
Hi, I'm Jason Jarrett, owner of Jarrett Companies. I'm looking to hire experienced experts and will offer a sign-on bonus of up to $5,000 for certified professionals. In addition to our great benefits that include a 401k match, PTO, and top pay with annual bonuses, we'll also provide you with top-of-the-line tools, trucks, and equipment that you need to grow your career. Our customer base is large and our business is booming with many opportunities for advancement. Give us a call or go online to JarrettCompaniesInc.com and apply today to become a member of our family and protect our community. That's JARRETT CompaniesInc.com. Jarrett Companies, where we are above and beyond industry standards.
We pride ourselves on being transparent, opening up the books, and sharing all the secrets of the diamond industry. We have a passion for this, and part of having a passion is sharing that passion.
Genesis Diamonds Vice President David Cooper says, at Genesis, you don't just get an entry-level course in diamonds, you get a PhD.
We love educating our customers, even over-educating our customers about diamonds and gemstones, so they can truly see the difference in what we offer.
At Genesis, diamonds are not a side business. It's their only business.
We eat, breathe, and sleep diamonds.
So whether you end up buying at Genesis or not, come for the education.
The better educated we can make you at Genesis Diamonds, the better a shopper you're going to be, whether you shop with us or anyone else. You will be able to tell the difference and know what you are buying, so you make the best decision for you.
Genesis Diamonds, proud to offer one of the largest selections of GIA certified diamonds in the nation, with no middleman markups, no retail pricing games, no commission salespeople, and no nonsense. Genesis Diamonds, Green Hills and Cool Springs.
So, if there's brunch, why isn't there dinner?
Or dunch, for that matter.
No, we know why there's no dunch.
Why is that?
People might get confused and miss brunch.
And I never want to miss a brunch this good.
Me either. Cheers.
Kitchen Notes at the Omni Nashville Hotel. Breakfast buffet Monday through Thursday from 7 till 10:30 a.m. and lunch from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. Weekend brunch Friday through Sunday from 7 a.m. till 2 p.m. featuring cast iron pancakes, made to order waffles, and eggs and carafes of mimosas. Treat yourself today to Kitchen Notes at the Omni Nashville Hotel.
Just like your car, your home has many moving parts, and we all know parts can go bad when they're not maintained regularly. That's why the trusted professionals at Lee Company recommend you invest in a home maintenance plan to ensure your home runs well all year long. For $12 per month, their reliable technicians visit your home 4 times a year to make sure your heating, cooling, plumbing, and electrical systems are running smoothly. Why wait for something to break? Visit LeeCompany.com today and schedule your first appointment online. Lee Company, all you need.
This is the Chase and Big Joe Show.
I wish you could just shut your big yapper
on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
How do you like the way your guys on the back end performed? It seemed like they tackled well, no explosive.
Yeah, I mean, that's, if we can be aggressive and, still make them earn it, right, and not have those mistakes down the field. I thought they mixed in coverages and man and zone and, just being able to swarm, stay on our feet, and now let those quick game, we tipped a couple passes, need to get some more, but, hold a talented offense at 3 points. That's a good job, good day's work.
Mike Vrabel yesterday on his secondary. Chasing Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Hey, want to tell you about DraftKings Sports and Social. The most epic sports watching experience in town is opening downtown on 2nd Avenue this Thursday. Stillman & Company will be broadcasting live from 2 to 6. DraftKings Sports and Social features a massive state-of-the-art 33-foot LED screen, their world-famous menu, and signature curated cocktails. That's this Thursday, the grand opening of DraftKings Sports and Social downtown on 2nd Avenue. So look forward to that. I thought the defense played well yesterday against Cincinnati. Obviously, they were getting to Joe Burrow. I think 3 sacks on him. But the secondary has been, I guess, if you're going to talk about a weak point with the defense, they've certainly been it. What did you think about their performance yesterday, Joe?
Well, thanks for asking, Chase. I think they did a heck of a job of getting to Joe Burrow. Of course, Joe Burrow was – I think they knew early on that Burrow couldn't move, and that if the more pressure they got on Burrow, one time Byard came in there off the edge and really laid it to him. So I think they did a great – we've talked about how good they are anyway, how the front 4 and the front 7 of the Titans is good. The secondary, when the secondary can play good and that pass rush gets in there, they're as good as anybody in the NFL. But they got to be consistent and do that week to week. This game at the Colts will tell a lot. They should go up and dominate this football team. They're a better football team than the Indianapolis Colts. They should go up. But again, we've seen this before where Titans all too often play to the level of their competition. And the Colts, the game's always a battle, but go up there and win this game, come out healthy, and go to London, sitting there at 3-2, owning the division. Remember, you don't have to be the best in the NFL. It's got to be the best in that division. And right now, the Titans are. But the Texans, that's an odd team as well. The whole division's odd. The Jags are odd. I mean, you're odd. The Dr. Crane's odd. I mean,
I am odd, yeah. I'm awkward.
That's just an odd division that's happening there. But again, accent the positives of what you saw yesterday, because that was one of the most dominating performances I've ever seen at Nissan Stadium for the Titans.
I mean, it's up there. Yeah. I mean, I'm trying.
The Bengals were done midway through the second quarter. They were done. I even tweeted it. I got record that I said that.
They were done. They quit.
That they were out of there. And then you come back with a 10.5-minute drive to open the second half, and they get the ball back with under 5 minutes to go in the third quarter, and they can, all right, what's going on here? And they were out of it.
I think you with Brett Kern, you used the perfect word for that. It was deflating.
Thank you. You're welcome. And with punting and footballs and deflating.
I see what you did there.
It was. But yeah, they would, and I said they'd rather be anywhere in the world besides Nissan State. It was hot, but I will tell you this, Bengals fans, you travel very well.
Oh, yeah.
Very well. There were a lot of y'all at Nissan Stadium yesterday.
Then they left early, too.
Yeah, I was behind this guy that was drunk going down the steps, and he yelled at a Bengals fan. He's like, "Is that what you get for half a million with Burrow?" $500,000. And this guy was so drunk. I was like, that's not a bad deal for $500,000. You get a quarterback in the NFL for $500,000. That's not bad.
That's a steal right there.
Oh, he was screaming. His girlfriend's like, "Shut up!" He's like, "Yeah, $500,000. You go back to wherever the hell you came from." I was like, "Yes." It's like you need to get this guy on the radio after the game. That's good analysis right there.
I crack up every time at fans like that are a little overserved. And just say things, and then it ends up half the time now it ends up on the internet.
Right. There was a fan in front of me that she stood up every time the Titans had an offensive play. She'd sit down, they'd run, she'd stand up, and people behind me were like, "I wish she'd just sit down." I'm like, who cares, man? You're in a football game. If you've got agitated at a football game, you shouldn't be here.
Did you see this guy at the Vols game?
What in the world? Why are his pants down?
I don't know.
Was that the man at the Vols game?
Yeah, it was a South Carolina fan.
I mean, his underwear is still there. But what in the world's going on with that guy?
Know.
Have you ever seen a fight at a
a
game? I've seen one, but when I was working from the press box looking down. And it was it always like, yap, 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 shove, shove, and then the haymakers start coming in.
I mean,
you can't stop. You start laughing,
right? Like if you're gonna fight, make it count. I mean, because pushing and shoving, you've already gotten somebody's attention, and you're probably gonna get thrown out anyway.
Yep.
So just go for it.
And it's funny because you'll look down. At least with games I come from the press box, and you'll see everybody heads turn, and then you just follow the head turning, and you just see what's going on.
Oh yeah.
And it happens. By the way, I know somebody used to do this all the time. Can we talk about jerseys at Nissan Stadium? And I said this yesterday. Eddie George jerseys outnumber every other jersey 10-1. They are absolutely everywhere.
So I'm glad you brought this up because I noticed yesterday I saw more old Titans jerseys than I feel like I have in a while. I saw obviously a lot of Eddie, a lot of McNair. Those two are the top that you see. I saw some D-Mace. I saw Wycheck.
Wycheck, yep.
I saw Earl Bennett. Drew Bennett.
Drew Bennett. Or Earl Campbell. Either one.
Earl Campbell. I saw, some Matthews, but from the old days.
Right.
And I feel like I'm just seeing those more and more and more. I saw 3 or 4 Derek Mason jerseys yesterday.
They should wear those. All right, here's the jerseys
Bullock.
I saw.
By the way, Keith Bullock was awesome. I love that they're doing that now. So Jarrell Casey did it in the first game, and they give him a mic, which I think is a very dangerous thing to do. But Bullock coming out and kind of hyping the crowd and talking to Vrabel. And
what did he say to Joe Burrow? With all due respect, it's over.
Yeah. And then he's like, yo, Vrabel, go get him, my boy, or something like that.
I like it, except if you're getting beat 40-0 in the fourth quarter, you come out that way.
Well, then they probably
quarter.
don't do it.
Yeah.
But both games they've been in it at that point. So.
It made me laugh. It's like, no, Joe Burrow, all due respect, it's over. All right, so the jerseys I saw yesterday, I saw Bills jerseys, I saw Cardinals jerseys, and I saw several Carolina Panthers jerseys. And I'm like, why are you wearing that to a football game?
This is a
weird.
This is a big debate that I have had with my friends. I have had on the air.
Okay.
Because I'm kind of the belief that if you go to a game and your team is not playing, then just wear neutral colors. But don't wear your team's colors. That if you're going to a Titans and Bengals game, then wear Titans or Bengals stuff.
Yeah.
But there are people that will go, and if you're a Cowboys fan, and they'll wear their Cowboys stuff.
I don't get it.
I don't either.
Plus, yesterday I think the temperature hit a little under 1,000 degrees. I don't know. Those jerseys are just blazing.
Mine was I wore a Derrick Henry one. Was actually okay.
A jersey. You're a grown man wore a jersey.
I did. We've been through this.
We need to talk after
No,
the show.
there's no talking. We've been through this. We have been through this. I like wearing jerseys. I'm going to continue to wear a jersey.
Would you run up to Derrick Henry and have him sign your jersey?
No.
Okay.
I would.
I would not now.
I'm short enough where they think I'm a kid, so I would.
That's true. And you do look 16.
No,
so
I wouldn't now.
Thank you.
I wouldn't now because of what I do, but I mean, I'm going to wear the jersey.
Would you bother? Who would you bother in a restaurant to get an autograph? That's a great question. You're welcome.
Me
Chase.
personally now, no. If I saw Ric Flair, I might.
I don't think I'd wait till they left.
Yeah. I mean, I would say
I would not at dinner.
I'd probably do that too. And it would be more just to say, hey, what's up?
Yeah.
But I don't know. My autograph days are done.
Do you know what name I use in restaurants if there's a wait, they'll call out over there? I've always used the name Don Shula.
Hey, Shula.
It's always worked. It's always worked. I'm now with the Dr. Crane generation growing up who probably don't know who Don Shula is. I'll have to change it. I've always used Don Shula.
That's a good one.
People are like, Don Shula, and people look around and, I've done it before at a restaurant here in town where I've put down Don Shula, and the managers will come over and says, hey, where's Don Shula? And I said, he's running late. Unbeknownst, he's been dead 15 years. It's actually happened here in Nashville. I'm not going to tell you the restaurant or where it was, but it worked perfectly.
I'm going to ask you, will you tell me off the air?
Yeah. And he came over and was like, hey, what's the Don Shula reservation? It's like, yeah, he's just running way behind. And like, oh, okay. And then they never came back over. I know it's awful.
Rebecca says, in hockey, if you go to a game that is not your team, it's totally acceptable to wear your home team jersey, so I'm all for it. I just never have understood
So if
that.
the Preds played the
and you
Avalanche,
see it a lot. You see it a lot at hockey games.
And she wears an Ottawa Senators jersey.
Yeah, you see it a
that's just
lot
odd
at
to
hockey.
me. I mean, you do you, but that's just odd to me. There's no right or wrong.
It almost sounds like when, the NFL goes to England and you have a bunch of just English fans wearing different variations of, NFL teams.
Yeah, okay.
That's kind of what it sounds like to me.
That's okay because there's really no favorite and you're over there, but it's just odd. I mean, seeing a Carolina Panthers jersey at a Titans game.
I feel like you see it in baseball too. Now, for instance, if you go to a Sounds game and you wear your jersey for your team, that's okay. You're going to a AAA baseball game.
But what are you trying to get across? Like, I don't care. I'm here, but I'm too good. Here's who I root for. What message are you trying to get across?
Like, I'm a football fan and I'm at a random football game, but my team is the
Carolina
but
I'm just I'm here. I'm kind of lowering myself. It's like the vampires in Twilight on top of that little looking down from their podium at people. It's just to me an odd flex.
Could be a good conversation piece. You never know.
I guess so.
Alex in Montreal says, Kevin Byard asked me if I wanted my jersey signed when I met him in a Nashville restaurant. I wasn't even wearing it. I had to take it off to eat at that particular restaurant. He was a gentleman. Oh, and I'm in my 40s.
How did Byard see your jersey?
I guess he was carrying it because he took it off to go in. I don't know. I'm just read the text.
That's interesting. By the way, thanks for listening to our international audience.
Yes, appreciate that. Coming up next, we'll look at some college football from the weekend and kind of give our thoughts on that. Vols get a big win Saturday night. Chase and Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Speaking of college football, MTSU, tune in to 93.3 Classic Hits this Wednesday as the Blue Raiders will kick off at 7 o'clock at home against Jacksonville State. Pregame at 6. Coverage also available on the 93.3 Classic Hits app and 93.3classichits.com.
They combine hard-hitting journalism. The Titans asked Kevin Byard to take a pay cut. Strong-willed opinions.
There's hot takes and then there's weird takes. Yeah. This is a weird take.
And sometimes some old man takes.
I'm excited about it. So do I gyrate embarrassingly?
To create the perfect morning show, they are Robbie and Rex Road. Mornings from 6 to 9. Presented by TJ Anderson Homes of Benchmark Realty on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Blue Raider fans, your home for all the MTSU football and men's basketball action is on 93.3 Classic Hits and 95.1 Classic Hits in the borough. Catch the action all season long with Chip Walters on the call. Go Blue Raiders!
Have you Googled yourself lately? Are there negative posts from an ex-employee or from a former client? Maybe an outdated news article or sensitive personal information about your family? Search engines don't always get it right. For right or wrong, it's your reputation on the line. That's where Reputation Defender by Norton comes in. One of the most trusted names in online reputation repair, Reputation Defender has been fixing people's search results for over 15 years. Their cutting-edge approaches help you to wipe away unwanted information in your search results. They also promote the good stuff so that it rises to the top, helping you put your best foot forward. Your good name is too valuable to leave to the whims of a Google algorithm. Take control with Reputation Defender. You can start by getting your free reputation report card at reputationdefender.com. Or call 800-401-6681 to speak to an expert. That's 800-401-6681.
Hey, it's John Tesh. You know, we've all felt the impact of inflation on everything from food to housing to gas. But most people don't realize the cost of your home and auto insurance is also likely to go up. With the rising cost of building materials, car parts, and labor, even the insurance companies are taking a hit, which means you will too. So if you're working with a company that only has one option and not a company that shops multiple carriers to find the best deal, you're wasting your money. It's why you should be working with Zander Insurance. They represent over 24 top insurance companies that are competing for your business, meaning you get the right home and auto coverage at the lowest prices this year and every year. And Zander's service can't be beat, I know from experience. Just check out their reviews. Saving money has to be a priority these days. Go to Zander.com or call 800-356-4282 and find out how much you can save. You'll see why over 500,000 families trust Zander.
Hey, if you missed our show, you can get it on demand. Just search for the Chase and Big Joe Show podcast on Apple, Spotify, or any podcast platform.
Chase and Big Joe are on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game.
Big Joe on the go. He says, I quit a summer job once building decks. As I left, my drunk boss fired nails at me with a nail gun. Job ain't done, boy!
A classic, for sure. Jimmy Fallon, The Tonight Show. He's back tonight, I think.
Yeah, he and I are very good friends, so I'm happy that he's back.
Well, good for him.
Yeah, right. Good for him.
We're back.
I guess we hit a nerve, right, with these jerseys and everything. I didn't mean to. I'm sorry, but I just find it odd that you're wearing different jerseys to a game that does not involve your team. I don't know. It's just weird.
Texture 4312 says, wearing jerseys as a grown man is lame. Studying other adults wearing jerseys is even more lame. My personal jersey exception is if a player is older than you by enough years that could have looked up to them at one point in time. Well, you know what?
I understand that.
That's fine.
Yeah.
That's your opinion.
Yeah.
You do you. I'm going to do me. This is where I'm like, I don't care. The only thing we're having this discussion is I don't agree with wearing a team's jersey that's not participating in the game you're going to the game. But if you choose to do that, that's your decision.
So say you're at a Kings-Ducks game, right, at Staple, Crypto Arena, whatever it's called now. Would you wear a Preds jersey?
Me personally, no.
I might. Just because. I kind of see that angle now.
Do I want to?
Yeah.
Yeah. But, like,
it's just an odd
I just,
situation.
like, they're not playing.
Right.
So it's like I don't do it.
But are you showing the world that you're a hockey, that you know hockey because you're wearing a Preds jersey when a game doesn't involve the Preds? I'd probably wear it.
I don't know. I will admit, like, I've only been to. So I went to Rangers and Devils game at Madison Square Garden.
Okay,
I think that's the only time I've been to a non-Preds game, hockey game. And when I was deciding what to wear, I was kind of like, well, whenever I go to a hockey game, I always wear Preds stuff, and so it was kind of difficult to decide. So I just wore like I think I wore black. I didn't wear a hat, and I wore like a black pullover.
Okay, that's fine. That's acceptable.
Yeah, I mean, so it is. But again, like it is. I kind of feel like it's just a personal choice, and like,
sure,
yes, there are the people like the texter that are, if you're over the age of 30, you shouldn't wear jerseys or what have you. Like, that's fine. That's your decision. I'm gonna wear a jersey.
Now,
I can do that.
On the jersey part, I do have a problem though when sportscasters would do the nickname. Like when I was doing sports, I would never call them Vrabes or Sneds.
I am certainly guilty of that, especially with the Predators, just because
this is a talk show. It's different,
right?
I think. But on the air, I would never go and say,
if you're doing like
check out Vrabes' comment, or I just never like D-Hop. I'm not your friend.
Right.
I'm not calling you. It's DeAndre Hopkins or Tanny or King Henry.
Yeah.
I'm not doing, that's just me, and I'm weird and I'm odd. But there's a lot of people that understood that I'm not your buddy. I'm not trying to be your buddy. And I don't want to be cool on TV by saying, D-Hop or, is Big Jeff legitimate? I'd say Simmons. I wouldn't call him Big Jeff, but talk show, yeah, it's different.
Sure. I mean, like, and for me, being around a lot of the Predators for so long and, in the room and covering them, like, I kind of got to know them on that level. And it's just like I hear Johansson. I hear Joey all the time, and
I had no idea who that was for a year.
I would always say, "Hey, what's up, Joe?"
Not much.
I mean,
what's up with you?
Yeah, and I mean that's just kind of how it went, and some of them, Chase became Chaser. Crispy would call me Caber, based on McCabe.
Yeah,
and it just kind of evolved into that. But that's a hockey thing.
It is a hockey
so
thing.
I mean, it just kind of is what it is. But we're off on one of our tangents again, and I like it.
Well, I mean, it happens, right?
David in Arkansas says, I'm confused about some fans. Yesterday at the game, I saw a kid wearing a Titans jersey with a Bengals hat. I saw an older woman wearing a Titans shirt and had a Chiefs clear back.
Nice.
I don't know. I saw a guy in a Bengals shirt and a Tennessee, like Vols dark mode hat because it was orange and black.
Okay.
And so I guess it matched, so we went with them.
Yeah, I guess. I mean, there's a tie-in, Pickens and the Bengals.
Yeah, that's true. Speaking of, Tennessee gets the big win Saturday night against South Carolina.
Big win.
They had Hendon Hooker in the house because the Lions had played earlier in the week.
That's
so,
right. Saw him there.
He was there, which I thought was very strategic and smart to bring him there, make sure that he was there.
The scheduling worked out fine for them. Is Brew McCoy done?
I don't know. I think so. That was nasty.
Yeah.
That was really
I hate
nasty.
that. Well, now they get a week off, and they play a resurgent Texas A&M team up in Neyland. I hope that's a night game. I hope Tennessee beats Jimbo 1,000-0.
Yeah. I mean, Tennessee's in a good spot at 4-1, even though Florida's a bad loss. Florida's not very good. Florida got dominated.
That is an awful loss.
It's an awful loss.
to
Florida
Tennessee.
got dominated by Kentucky.
And Ray Davis.
Yeah, how about that? Almost 300 yards.
He was going crazy. But, yeah, that's anyway, for the Vols, you lost to Florida tonight. All you can do is control what's in front of you. So A&M and Alabama are up next. And I hate that A&M's having a good season because I loathe Jimbo Fisher. But that's going to be a tough game. Be a good game.
Who's going to beat Georgia? Because I think they got one coming. I think they're vulnerable.
I think Auburn opened their eyes. That's think of the emotion.
But that's too. South Carolina and Auburn have scared them.
Yeah, but there's not really much left in front. Tennessee game is in Knoxville in late November. That could be another one that's that could be really tough for them. But
I think if Tennessee can play like they did against South Carolina Saturday, then that's a winnable game.
Sure it is. Yeah.
At home, that's a winnable game.
Yeah, it is because I saw part of that Auburn-Georgia game, but you got to remember that's an emotional game. I mean, Auburn was packed, and Hugh Freeze called a good game plan, and it just I don't know. It was something to watch Georgia get knocked around that way and still have enough in the tank to win the game. That says a lot about that football team.
I will say this to Auburn fans and I've watched a few of their games this year with Hugh Freeze. You will be back very soon.
Yeah. Also, the Ole Miss LSU game.
Oh, that was a fun one.
The LSU receiver had that in his hands. That's what I want to talk about. Dadgummit, I wrote it down. I forgot to bring it up. They got to stop the on-field. They got to stop fans from rushing on the field.
I agree.
Because that Ole Miss punk that was running up, cussing to the LSU player, and like, and the LSU player didn't see it, and he turned around and he elbowed the guy in the face. And they're like, well, he knew I saw the video. He didn't know.
Yeah.
He just turned around and hit the guy. I think might have knocked his front teeth out. I don't blame the LSU player for that because he wasn't going after the guy.
Sure.
They got to stop this.
I don't know how they do, though.
They got to stop it, man, because everybody's swarming these players, and you swarm me that way and you're talking smack, I'm swinging. I'm sorry.
Right.
It's human nature to do that. And don't say, well, you're going to walk off the field and be a better. No.
And like
you played your butt off.
And honestly, I don't think that – I mean, that was a good win for them, but I don't think that was worthy of rushing the field.
Ole Miss LSU?
Yeah.
That's the kind of the rage now is to rush the field after
I know,
those
and
things.
I get that it's a rivalry. It's the Magnolia Bowl, but and it was a fun football game. That was a classic college football game, just back and forth and high scoring. The lane train rolling, nice rebound for them. I think Ole Miss is a pretty good team. They obviously lost to Alabama, but I that was a big win for them, and LSU just hasn't quite figured it out yet. I still don't think it was worthy of rushing the field.
No, not at all. I totally agree. And they got to stop it. I'm looking at the video now of the game. I mean, they just took off and ran onto the field. They got to stop doing this because more is going to happen. Bad things are going to happen when these drunk fans get in the face of these players or I'm surprised it hasn't gotten to that level where it was like, oh, my goodness, because it's really bad. Also, Vanderbilt's done.
Yeah.
2-4. Their schedule coming up. I mean, it's just – and they're playing Florida at the wrong time this weekend. I hate it.
Yeah.
Then they got Georgia, Ole Miss, Auburn, South Carolina, Tennessee. I just don't see.
Yeah, I agree.
Another win.
I hate it, but I totally agree. And like the thing is, there are times where you watch them, like against Kentucky and Missouri, and like you see the fight. You see that it's there. It's just, I mean, the only way I know to put it is they're just not good enough.
You're right.
I mean that's it's like the heart's there, and they want to, but they just don't have the horses.
Is it Alabama, Texas A&M this weekend?
Am
I seeing that right?
Well, hang on, I can tell you.
It is.
Yeah. You got LSU, Missouri, Alabama, A&M. That's the 2:30 CBS game.
Wow.
Kentucky, Georgia. I think that'll be a good game. I'm curious on that. That's the night game on ESPN, and then Arkansas goes to Ole Miss on SEC Network.
If they do, I'm going to tell you right now, if they get rid of – I'm marking it right now on October 2nd. If Florida gets rid of Napier, you know who the next coach at Florida is going to be?
Hit me.
Mark Stoops.
Ooh, that's a good one. And that might be a job he's had opportunities.
He has.
That might be one that he would leave for.
We've seen before movement within the SEC.
Sure. Happens all the time.
Yep. Why not go get him? He's now been in Kentucky's 11th season. Got there in 2013.
I'm trying to think of a retread that's out there that could get another shot. You think Gus Malzahn ever gets another SEC job?
I don't know. How's he doing at UCF? I mean,
I think he's kind of hit or miss.
Maybe. I mean, if Hugh Freeze gets an opportunity after what happened at Ole Miss, then absolutely does. But the games in the state of Texas weekend, you got the Red River Shootout, Oklahoma and Texas playing, and then down the road a little bit, you got Alabama and A&M. That's if Texas A&M wins that game, they're sitting in the driver's seat. They're 3-0, and then they go to Knoxville next weekend. Come on, Bama.
Bama is a early 2.5-point favorite.
Are you serious?
In that game on the road. Georgia is a 14.5-point favorite against Kentucky, which I think that's a little too much.
Well, that's what they say about this show down there too. The show's
Florida 18.5-point favorite against Vandy.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, they're getting Florida at a time in Florida.
That's a bad time to get Florida. They're going to be mad.
Oh, my goodness.
Coming up next, we'll put a bow on things, get you celebrity birthdays as well. Chase and Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game.
He breaks down every game.
The players are still going to be fine.
And knows the ins and outs of the two-tone blue.
They deal with their own position coaches.
He is ESPN NFL Nation Titans reporter Teron Davenport.
It's clear what he's doing.
TD joins every Monday at 1, Thursdays at 3, Friday mornings at 8, and anytime on the Talkin' with TD podcast.
I think that's really cool how he could show both sides.
TD is on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game and the Game Nashville app.
Hi, this is Brad Hopkins, two-time Pro Bowler and former tackle of the Tennessee Titans. When I played, I worked hard to train my body, eat right, and practice to make sure I was prepared for game day. That's what vaccines and boosters do for your immune system, to keep you healthy, and why I chose to get vaccinated and boosted. Preparation keeps you game ready and reduces risk. Talk to your doctor. Make sure you're up to date on all your shots and get the information you need to make an informed choice. Gear up, Tennessee. Find a shot near you by visiting vaccines.gov today.
You know that feeling you get when your team goes big? You can get that same feeling on Zen Sports, where you score with cash rewards every bet you make. Earn cash rewards on your betting volume each month, and even more cash during your 15-day welcome bonus period. So say goodbye to deposit bonuses that turn into deposit nightmares, and say hello to a better sportsbook experience and real cashback rewards. Zen Sports. Betting just got better. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-889-9789. Terms and conditions apply. Must be 21 and up and in Tennessee to bet.
How can a half-carat diamond magically grow into a 2-carat diamond? With Genesis Diamond's 110% diamond upgrade guarantee.
Our trade-up policy is the best in the United States.
That's Stasia at Genesis, explaining how if you buy a diamond today and want to trade it in for a bigger one next year, Genesis always gives you back your original purchase price plus an extra 10%.
We will gladly give you every single penny you paid for the diamond plus an extra 10%, which is amazing. No one does that.
As a real-life example, take Stasia's customer Paul.
When he first started, he got a half-carat, and then as he became more successful, we rewarded him. He came in and he got a 3/4 carat, and then he's traded for a carat. I'm sure I'll see him this year for a carat and a half. As they grow and change and become more successful, their engagement ring can grow with them also.
And there's no catch, no minimum trade-up requirement, and it works on diamond studs and diamond pendants as well.
You get every single investment dollar you put into the diamond, you will get an extra 10% towards the new diamond.
Genesis Diamonds and luxury pre-owned Rolexes.
You can trade as many times as you wish.
Continuously voted best jewelry store and best place to buy an engagement ring. Green Hills and Cool Springs.
Just a minute, don't hang up. Hey, we want to hear from all of you. Give us a call or text at 615-737-1025.
Hello. You'll have to speak up. I'm wearing a towel.
Our phone line driven by Wilson County Hyundai.
Chase and Big Joe are on 102.5 and 106.3 The Game.
Chase and Big Joe, 102.5, 106.3 The Game. Jason McKay, Big Joe Dubin, Nick Frazier, Dr. Crane with you. Hey, before we get to celebrity birthdays, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
If you were invited into Taylor Swift's suite, what kind of interaction do you think you would have? Would you just be there to eat the food? Would you try and talk to her?
You know me well. What would I do?
Eat the food.
And then what?
And then leave.
There you go. That's exactly what I do at every suite at Bridgestone Arena.
Would you even say hi? Would you go try and give her a hug? I mean, you're in the suite, so obviously you're going to get some sort of like you've gotten that far.
Yeah,
so
probably a fist bump.
Like, what's up, girl?
Like,
shout out to Hendersonville.
I'd drop Robbie Stanley's name. That's about it. And
that might actually get you somewhere.
Yeah, I mean, it might give me an extra beer or two, but Hendersonville in the house, and that'd be it. Didn't her brother go to Pope John Paul? I think he graduated from there.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, so I mean, we're kind of local. And her dad listens to the show out in Hendersonville. What's up, Scott Swift?
What's up?
You know it. You know it. So that's I'd probably get a fist bump.
Are they still here? Like, are her parents still here?
I think somebody said they see her father at a restaurant in Hendersonville every week.
Oh, okay.
And I'm not gonna. I don't remember the name of the restaurant. Something about a rooster.
Okay.
Red Rooster or something. They see him there all the time. I don't know. It's in Hendersonville, so I'm not allowed out there.
That's cool.
To do all that. So that's one of the things, man.
Caroline Willie and D-Mace coming up next. Looking forward to hearing what Derek has to say about the Titans offense in their win yesterday, 27-3. But as we do on every show, it is America's favorite segment, Celebrity Birthdays.
Wait, what would you do in her suite?
I mean, I'd go say hi. Be like, hey, thanks for the invite. And then she'd probably be like, who are you?
Oh, man, I'd love to see that. I would love to see that. Because if you act around her the same way you act around Ed Werder, hey, Taylor, Chase McCabe, how's it going? All right.
I don't know if I'd go, like, I probably wouldn't go full on, like, bro hug, I'd just be like, but I'd get a hug.
Yeah. Okay.
You should just pull one of those stories like, oh, you remember your math class? You remember when Henderson High School? Yeah, all
and
that.
she's so nice. She's like, oh, yeah.
Well, did you see? So there's a video going around of, like, there were fans underneath the suite, and they were filming her, and she caught them, and she, like, points, and she's like, I see you, and then does her little love thing.
What's this all? You think because they ran her commercials for her movie coming out?
Oh, I know.
If this is a marketing thing, it's brilliant.
Oh, dude, it's 100%.
So brilliant.
Like, I will tell you this is what I truly think is happening.
Okay. Oh, good. All right. Okay, I like this. This is Entertainment Hour. Chase McCabe here.
I think they are hanging out and doing whatever that
Why
means?
the air quotes?
Because I'm trying to say that they're hooking up without saying it.
Okay.
So, yeah.
All right.
Do I think they're hooking up? Yes.
They're the 30s. Do whatever they want.
Do I think that it's a totally marketing ploy for both of them? Abso-freaking-lutely.
Yeah. Because her movie's coming out, and that's going to sell out, and she'll make
his start. Like, everybody's like, "Oh, she put him on the map. He was on the football map. Now he's on the other map."
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Ready, Dr. Crane? All right. Our first birthday today. How old is Sting, the musician, not the wrestler? How old is Gordon Sumner? How old is he today?
72.
I'm going to go 69.
72 exactly.
Boom.
Good job, Chase. Actor Lorraine Bracco. She was a therapist in The Sopranos. Also, she was his wife in Goodfellas. Ray Liotta's wife in Goodfellas. How's Lorraine Bracco?
65.
I'm going to go 73.
69. TV host Kelly Ripa.
Not our friend Kelly Rippin. Kelly Ripa, 48.
She was on with, okay, so that's, I'm going to go 53.
53 exactly.
Nice.
What were you adding up in your head over there?
You know, she was with Regis for a good bit of time, so I was
Right.
trying to do the math.
Okay, well, your math worked out good. Singer Tiffany, who used to live here in Nashville. Not sure if she still does or not.
I don't think she does, but her son, my mom taught her son.
Oh, okay.
That's actually a really funny story that I'll tell you off the air.
Okay.
But Tiffany, 58?
I'm going to go 53.
52.
Nice.
Dr. Crane, well done on that. Don't know who that is, so we'll keep going on down. Film critic Rex Reed.
Is he like the new Siskel and Ebert?
No comment.
Okay. 68.
I'm going to go 49.
85.
Okay.
Yep.
Singer Don McLean, Bye Bye American Pie. I used to work with his girlfriend many, many years ago.
78.
Let's go 84.
78 exactly. We're tied at 2. Avery Brooks, actor from Star Trek Deep Space Nine, who was also in Vegas.
Captain Benjamin Sisko. Ooh, that's a tough one. 70.
76.
75. Dr. Crane's up 3-2. Guitarist Mike Rutherford of Genesis of Mike and the Mechanics. He wrote the great song In the Living Years.
78.
84.
73. Come on, guys. Lead singer of Human League, Phil Oakey. How low to see? Start singing Fascination.
68.
73.
68.
Oh,
We're
boy.
3-3. This is the best game we've ever had. I'm loving this.
Nail biter.
Country singer Kelly Willis.
Kelly Wood.
She sings Heaven's Just a Sin Away. Whoa, whoa.
Okay.
Just a sin away. Heaven's just
59.
It's tough. I'm going to go 54.
55. Dr. Crane's up
Good job.
4-3. Good job. Let's see. Go down here. Oh, gospel singer and former American Idol contestant Mandisa. Isn't she from Gallatin or from around here somewhere?
No clue.
Chase, you need this.
38.
Mandisa. Let's go with 44.
She's 47, and with that's the ball game. Nick, good job. You win 4-3.
Thank you very much.
Well done, Nick. You start the week off good. Other birthdays, Groucho Marx.
Groucho.
Yep. Steve Sable and Abbott and Costello, Bud Abbott.
Oh, wow. Steve Sable, NFL Films?
Yep.
Yeah.
Probably one of the top 5 most important people, him and his father,
Yep.
to the history of the National Football League.
I would agree with that.
Maybe top 3.
I would agree with that.
Yep.
100%. All right. There you go. That'll do it for celebrity birthdays. That'll do it for us. Again, Titans get the huge win 27-3 against the Bengals yesterday. Caroline, Willie, and D-Mace will have a full report on that, plus more on Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce.
Absolutely. Remember this. You are loved. To all of our male friends out there, we love you guys. Stay strong. If you're struggling, reach out. Talk to us. We love you. We want you around here. Don't be afraid to go talk to somebody. We're here if you need us.
All the big plays.
Rebound, try out in front, and Saros covers.